What is up, guys? JT Anime Nerd here, bringing you all that nerdy goodness. Today, I'm going to be giving my spoiler review on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I had the privilege to see at my local theater a day before it fully premiered in both theaters and Peacock. I have noticed that the fan base is very divisive on this movie, with one under the seemingly suspicious signs of how good the movie is being shown through both premiering on Peacock the same day as theaters. However, the issues that some people have with this movie, I feel were intentional. After all, Scott Cawthon did approve this script out of all the scripts he went through, leading to multiple delays. So I'm pretty sure Blumhouse and Scott knew what they were doing when the script was approved. Now, without further ado, let's get into the review. The movie revolves around a character named Mike Schmidt, who's struggling to raise his little sister Abby due to his trauma of witnessing his younger brother Garrett's kidnapping, resulting in the trauma keeping him from holding down a job. Mike constantly keeps trying to fall asleep, believing that the answer to who took Garrett lies in his dreams, which he returns to with the help of sleeping pills. I found this plot to be a pretty great one, with the only issue I find with it being that Mike doesn't even ask the killer why he took his brother. This felt like an obscure part of the movie that maybe should have been included, even if it was just a small thing. But anyway, Mike is offered by the ghosts of the children that haunt the animatronics to stay in a dream where he can be with Garrett forever in exchange for Abby's life, which he agrees to at first, but then changes his mind and has to save Abby from being turned into an animatronic circus baby prototype by the looks of it. From what I've heard this is an animatronic called Ella or Etta from the books. I thought that was a pretty neat addition. There's that. Then we get to Abby, who doesn't have much of a character arc besides being the only one who sees the animatronics for who they are. Kids who don't have much of a grasp at what's happening, but tries to make the best of it. I do find Abby's presence in the movie as essential to showing how human the animatronics really are, even though at first glance, you'd really think she just fit the little kid in distress cliche. But she does end up being a big help to discovering the secret behind the animatronics and showing them the truth about their deaths. The next character I want to get into is someone who is one of the most essential, but at the same time, the stupidest character in this movie. And I say that to a point due to certain actions she takes in this film. The character I'm referring to is, of course, Vanessa, who's revealed to be the daughter of the killer known as William Afton. Now, her being the daughter wasn't my issue. I love that part about it, actually. In fact, I found her to be a great character. However, in the midst of the third act, she makes it very obvious that she knows something and doesn't want them to get hurt. But after revealing that she knew the animatronics were alive, she still chose to be super vague about her involvement in her father's sadistic killings and in the deaths of the kids who were stuffed in the animatronics. I can understand if she's scared, but she clearly was showing signs that she was bravely breaking out of her manipulative father's grasp, and should have been more straightforward with Mike during the scene where they're both in the back room. Instead, Vanessa waited until things got too out of hand, which could have been avoided and possibly give us more moments with William Afton on screen. Now I do want to mention, I do want to pivot from here and mention that the version of Vanessa in the games, whose father is oddly mentioned by name by her therapist in hidden tapes, in Security Breach, but the name is censored. And if Vanessa's father truly is William Afton in the games, then MatPat, you've got your work cut out for you at this point, because I doubt it's just a game theory. Shout out to MatPat too, I loved his cameo in this movie. Before I get to the character I know everyone wants to talk about, I want to mention that I feel that I wish we could have seen Aunt Jade's death on screen. I know that's kind of morbid, forgive me for that, but the movie makes you hate her so much that her death kind of feels unsatisfying due to it being off screen, as well as have you wonder how Mike didn't get blamed for it since her body was in his house. I also feel like the babysitter should have at least expressed some disdain for trying to hurt Mike, as she did. It seemed to disagree with helping Jane sabotage Mike's chances at being with her. Her facial expressions kind of imply it. All in all, the side characters are who, of course, I think have the biggest flaws in the movie, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. It's just a nitpick to me. Now, oh my God, let's talk about some of the cameos, a couple of the cameos in this movie. Of course, my favorite was Matt Pat. Wow, he was really secretive about being in this film. He straight up lied to our face. Although, in truth, I was never really keeping up with that, nor did I actually expect to see Matt Pat in this movie. So I was so surprised that they paid homage to Game Theory, who really is the top tier theorist for trying to figure out the story of FNAF. And then you got Corey X Kenshin, who I haven't seen much of, I admit, but I do know, I have heard of him. He's popular on YouTube. I just didn't know he was a lot popular with FNAF. But it was incredible seeing him here. And I did hear before, while the movie was getting made, that all these YouTubers came in, like Dawko, and so many other YouTubers whose names I can't remember. One downside, which I heard was because of scheduling issues, was not seeing Markiplier, and I was even so disappointed because I heard that their plans for him was to be the beginning security guard, which an Easter egg kind of hints that he could be Fritz from the game. Ames, the security guard from the beginning of the movie who dies, who's just kill fodder. But that would have been nice to see. But hopefully and I'm saying when the sequel comes out, hopefully Markiplier will have time to make his cameo there, because I am confident that I am very confident this is getting a sequel, and we'll be seeing cameos from more YouTubers, and probably the YouTubers we've seen here. Only time will tell, though. Now let's talk about the best character in the movie, who was sadly short-lived, but I believe it was intentional. Steve Raglan, who is later revealed to be William Afton, was the man who gave gave Mike the job as a security guard. However, William turned out not just to be the man who kidnapped Garrett and killed him, but also the man who kidnapped and killed the 5 kids that haunt the 5 animatronics and stuffed their bodies into them in order to evade the authorities. From then on, William found a way to manipulate the spirits within the spirits of the children through a drawing, seemingly making it look like he was their friend, but in reality was their warden who used them to continue his manic killing spree. I honestly really would have liked Mike to ask him why he took and killed Garrett, with William just giving a convincing dialogue of how he did it just because he could. I don't mind that he just killed kids for the sake of killing, but I do feel that there should have been dialogue to help us understand that better. I also do wish that the action and confrontation involving him lasted it a bit longer, with the ghosts of the children actually showing themselves to him like in the source material, as well as maybe get attacked by each animatronic before the spring lock sets off. After everything involving Mike, Abby, and Vanessa, William decides to act, donning the Golden Bonnie suit in order to hide his identity and kill Mike and Abby. However, his daughter Vanessa gets in the way, getting stabbed by her father as a result. Abby then replaces the drawing of him as the animatronic's friends with a drawing of the truth, William in the Golden Bonnie suit killing them all with a knife. This leads to the animatronics turning against him, having the cupcake animatronic attack him and trigger the spring locks within his suit, slowly killing him in the process. William then decides to put the head of Golden Bonnie back on and claim that he always comes back, which I find to be a hint toward a potential sequel. By the end of the movie, Mike and Abby live a happy life, potentially going back to visit the animatronics in the pizzeria in the future, but it's never clear. Vanessa, however, is in a coma, likely to set up her future in a potential sequel. Then we have William Afton, who's still alive Ivan the suit, but is kept away in the back room he killed the kids in, with the ghost of Golden Freddy closing the door on him, hinting at his return as Springtrap in the future. Now, when it comes to the animatronics, the only one that gets any seeming in character development is the ghost of Golden Freddy, or at least a hint toward character development, who only shows up as Golden Freddy for a limited time in the movie, for what I also believe is intentional. One scene that I find people questioning is the scene where Mike, Abby, and Vanessa are having fun with the animatronics, with people wanting to see a killer animatronic movie but getting surprised at this very scene. I for one find this scene essential in humanizing Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, as without it, we never really know that these killer robots are actually just kids trying to make the best out of a horrifying situation. In the end, I can see why this movie was put on Peacock at the same time as its theater premiere, but even with the changes I spoke about out in this review, I can honestly live without them due to how much this movie is made for the fans. However, when it comes down to the questions that were left to the imagination, I believe that Scott Cawthon and Jason Blum made sure to do that intentionally. After all, Matthew Lillard, the actor who plays William Afton, was given a 3-picture movie deal involving Five Nights at Freddy's. So I'm confident that when it comes to a trilogy, we will be getting a prequel to tell William and Henry's story, as well as the story of the 5 children, and a sequel that will give us the final battle against Springtrap. I, for one, am confident that this will evolve into an incredible trilogy, but only time will tell. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the kills of this movie. Sorry about that. When it came to the kills, I actually was pretty surprised how, despite its PG-13 rating, how kind of gruesome they were. I mean, first you got that beginning scene with the first security guard Fritz, where he's caught in like that saw trap, like he's going to get seemingly. I guess that was a hint toward they're gonna stuff you in an endoskeleton, but this was a different way of going about that. Then you got that one scene where Aunt Jane hires these thugs and the babysitter to break into Freddy Fazbear's in order to get Mike fired, but then it turns out the animatronics are on the prowl. You see the cupcake eating one's face, which I am surprised that the result of that actually was shown, because again, it's a PG-13 movie, and the other one, and then there were the other deaths that were kind of mellow, yet at the same time implied to be brutal. But then there was that scene with the babysitter. He got pulled into the Freddy animatronic's mouth and then got bit in half. You could see it in the shadow on the wall, because again, PG-13, yet it was still very brutal. And I heard that a few people, when that happened, they kept shouting, "Was that the bite of 87?" and I really wish that happened in my theater, because I would have laughed hysterically at that. But all in all, the kills were great, and I thought this was pretty scary, especially that little balloon boy figure, which I really hope to see the real balloon boy in the sequel or prequel. In truth, this movie actually reminds me of the first Saw movie, which had a plethora of lingering questions at the end of it, with the Jigsaw killer being revealed as John Kramer, but his origin was never established. We also know that he had an accomplice in a pig mask, but it's never revealed who it is. We don't even find out what's happened to Gordon until the 7th Saw movie. If anyone watching this video doesn't know what the movie Saw is, then go look it up, or ask someone who may know. Trust me, you'll want to discover it for yourself. But to me, this movie is kind of the same. A lingering story that shows that it wants to hinge on a sequel and prequel or prequel to give us a bigger picture or to unanswered questions. And I, for one, can't wait to see what Blumhouse has in store for this trilogy. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and put down in the comments section below on what you guys thought of this review, and where you think the Five Nights at Freddy's movie story is going to go from here. Also, don't forget to check out my merch store linked in the description and pinned comment down below. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime, and I'll check you guys later. Oh, and happy Halloween.